Good morning, Tony.
Toyin.
I said good morning, Tony.
Okay, no, you won't call me Tony. I'm not those people. You call me Mr. Lumelu or Tioyi. You won't call me Tony or Chairman. I don't subscribe to that kind of Oyibo life, okay? All right.
Good morning, Mr. Ilumelu.
Thank
so my
you.
question is, how do you know if...
Please, someone said, oh, that is a Gen Z attitude. No, that is a stupid, untrained scallywag without remorse right there.
Music is life. Music is spirit.
Yes, you may have a varying opinion, but I said what I said. I will not call this a Gen Z attitude because there are so many Gen Zs who did not throw away their culture. There are so many Gen Zs with respect their parents. What is going on? If I always come out to make videos about Nigeria and we neglect things like this, then our society will be rotting in no distant time. And for this, I have some factors that are concerning. First, this is Nigeria, not abroad. If someone who was brought up or raised and schooled in one of the most traditional countries in Africa behaved like this, it simply means that something is wrong somewhere in her home, because I believe so many homes are not like this. So many people did not train their children to be like this. Obviously, from her intonation, she's born and bred in Nigeria, and you didn't know to respect your elder. You stood up at age what, 21 through 23 or something like that, and called a man in his 60s by his name in Nigeria. No, that is so disrespectful and stupid. Second, the figure she was addressing is a very powerful figure, a figure who will likely be her boss in future or about to even hire her. You stood up and addressed one of the most powerful CEOs by his first name, a man whose pen or signature can either truncate or elevate your career in Nigeria, a man whose recommendations or just a single recommendation can open destiny doors for you in Africa. Somebody will say, oh, but in the Western world they call you by your first name. If you look or listen carefully, you will understand that there is always an acronym. They will always call you, oh, Mrs. Queen or Miss Queen, oh, Mr. Philip, Mr. Tony. There is always an acronym or your title attached to it. None of them will come up to call you, oh, Tony, except if they've already addressed you formally before they commenced. You can't just stand up and call somebody Tony, an elderly man who is way older than you in Apwala. At least if you had said, oh, Mr. Tony, maybe he may not react. Third, no atom of self-reflection and introspection, because no apology, which simply means that naturally she is rude. In Africa generally, there are spoken and unspoken laws. Respect is an unspoken law which you must have. They are Nigerian parents. Some of us now want to be online parents. Some of us want to be forming Gen Z parenting. We want to behave like the Oyibos, but we are not ready to accept the outcome of Oyibo life. Do not be like the children of the West.
Ask Maya her views on interracial relationships.
Oh, thank you. And first, I'm Miss Angelo.
Miss Angelo.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not Maya. I'm 62 years old. I have lived so long and tried so hard that a young woman like you or any other you have no license to come up to me and call me by my first name. That's first. That's first. Also because at the same time, I am your mother, I'm your auntie, I'm your teacher, I'm your professor. You see?
You just told her that she should call you Ms. Angelo.
Miss Angelo. Dr. Angelo, Professor Angelo, auntie.
Is that part of the problem in this culture that we have? There's not enough discipline, there's not enough respect.
Yes.
Pardon me? Hold on, Senator. Stand.
I'm from North Carolina, and I'm so happy that you went back there.
Thank you.
Because it is a peaceful place. I've been out here in California about 8 years, and there is no respect.
Well, all right, sister, I agree. I only think that the children know only what we teach them. If there is something wrong in the last two generations, which did not carry on the tradition, and I think this is true not just in the black community, this is true in the white community, in all the communities. We have not taken the children to our knees and told them the truth. Darling, here's the way it is. You live in direct relation to the poets, the heroes, and the sheroes you have. Always honor the elders.
Did you hear that? Respect is important, but some parents unfortunately are broken.
Mr. President, do you miss your name, by the way? Because everyone calls you Mr. President, but like I feel like I would, like if people call me like Mr. Daly, I would miss just being called Trevor. Do you miss your name sometimes?
You know, my best friends call me Barack.
Okay, okay.
You should call me Mr. President.
I knew.
But,
You know,
Powerful men and women do not play or joke with respect. Respect, no matter where, can get you into places that on a norm you may not be able to enter.
About 2 interviews that have surfaced of Tony Elumelu, chairman, Sir TOE, doing interviews in the West, and they called him by his first name, Tony, and there was no similar rebuttal. So people are now saying, does this only apply in a Nigerian context? Because when you've been on perhaps bigger stages with more seasoned interviewers, you've accepted being on a first name basis. Mr. Etoma, chairman, what do you make of this?
Don't call me Mr. Etoma, call me Mr. Edu.
Exactly.
No, absolutely.
I'm so sorry, boss.
Yeah, call me Mr. Edu. Look, the way somebody addresses you is a personal thing. Some people really do not mind, while others mind, like the chairman does. And what I love about it is that he corrected that lady immediately, because it has to do with me. It's my identity. It's my image. It's my brand. You can't just throw it around. Now, somebody will say, when he grants interviews abroad in America and England, he doesn't really mind when they call him Tony. No, the first time during an interview, the first time you call me, you will call me correctly. Then after that, you can start using my first name, and that is the etiquette. And some of us insist that the etiquette is seriously adhered to. Others are not really particular about it. But generally, especially our Gen Zs, they want to do everything that happens in America and in London. Hey, wake up call, this is Nigeria.
Thank you for that, Mr. Edu.
First of all, I must commend Tony Elumelu for correcting the young lady in a very nice manner. If I was the one, I'd ask her to drop the mic or pass it to somebody else and take a seat. That's what I would have done. Because you look at the age gap in between, and let's forget about Oyibo and not Oyibo, culture and no culture. Hello, for the age bracket, please, add some respect. You can't stand up and call a man of that caliber Tony. No, you can't do that. I would have asked her to drop the mic and then give to somebody else. If you don't know what to say, just move on. I don't care what anybody would have said. I don't care what woke culture, no woke culture. It doesn't matter to me. Drop the mic and move it on. But Tony Elumelu himself, he handled it in a very beautiful way, and I commend you, sir, for doing the way you did it. Some other person would have done it like that.
I think you already took my anger, so let me just take it a little bit slow. We tend to always, attribute everything to Gen Z, the way things are. I do not think all Gen Zs do not have brains, because sometimes I tend to equate the Gen Zism to lack of culture. Because it doesn't mean that when you are called Gen Z, you should throw away what your culture is, or you should throw away respect. In the abroad, people would say, so to speak, the way they normally put it, in the abroad, you call people by their names, but as Etoma had said, you do not call, no matter how lowly placed the person is, you do not call the persons by their surname. You must add Mr. or Mrs. If you're not calling the person's own name, then you can call the person's name. But in this context, it is better you say Mr. Elumelu or Tony Elumelu. Bro, madam, you can't say Tony. So let us see the way we have culture. Africans, we are proud of what we have. We should not compare ourselves, whether Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Millennial, whatever you want to call it. We should not throw away our own culture, because they do not have, and they are doing everything by classifying Gen Z, whatever it is, in order to demystify our own culture. No, we won't do that here.
Nigerian parents, we are not the same as Western people. When you train your children in school by paying their fees, train them to also be human as well. If not, one day, many of you will realize that you raised vagabonds.
How you said you're still going up. We can go up together. This doesn't have to be a you thing. It can be a we thing.
And then when I'm older and I have nothing,
nursing home,
and I need you to take care of me,
nursing home.
You can't do that.
Nursing
You're not going to do that.
2 words, Dad.
Nursing home. So you'd put your dad in a nursing home.
Nursing home. Well, what else would I do? Take care of you myself?
How about that? Or put me in your home and have 24-hour nursing assistant.
My house?
Yeah, why not?
With my kids? And my car? And my husband? And my pool? And my guest room?
I'm just your dad.
Exactly.
The one that made it all possible.
I would love you from a distance, Dad. You know I love you from a distance. We better that way. You my heart, though.
Can we leave now?
Go to the US or Western world and see how people grow up to abandon their parents in old people's home. We do not accept that here in Nigeria. It is very rare and mostly happens if the children are no more. Let us not allow social media to destroy the true family values that we have in this nation. Teach your children to be respectful, to know how to apologize, to be thankful, and to be contented with what they have. Or one day you will have to bear the consequences of their actions.
Timbala,